Oh, it's bright out here. Hey guys, it is a stunning January day here in California. I'm thrilled to be filming outside today, and I'm really thrilled to be filming this restorative practice. It's been a while since I've done a restorative offering, let alone a yin offering on my Patreon. And part of that is because I have a very tumultuous relationship with yin yoga. And really what I've just had to come to terms with is that there are some poses that I think are excellent for yin, and there are many poses that I don't think we should be doing. So this is kind of a fusion practice. We're going to do a full body restoration, and some postures are going to be yin, meaning we're going to be there for a few minutes, and others we're just going to do a restorative amount of time, which is usually about 5 to 10 breaths, so about 30 seconds to a minute. I've got my coziest sweater on, even though I'm sweating already, and some nice comfy leggings. So get nice and cozy. You can do this practice in your pajamas before bed, of course. And I'm also going to be switching to a voiceover so that there's no background noise that can ruin this very relaxing practice for you. So get nice and comfortable, maybe have some water or tea nearby, and let's get started. Please have 2 blocks for today, and I even have a pillow here to work as a bolster. If you have a bolster, use a bolster, but I don't own one. I would really like to get one, but they're really expensive. So I just have a pillow. So we're gonna start on our backs.
Take your blocks with you as you head onto your back. We're going to begin in constructive rest, so knees are bent and touching, with your feet as wide as your mat. Arms long by your side in a cactus position, or one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly, or both hands to hip points. Start to even out your breath, lengthening your inhales and exhales. Feeling your ribs expand in all 4 directions as you breathe in, and feeling your ribs and your tummy decompress as you breathe out. Let whatever thoughts come into your head arrive. Allow yourself to be an observer of them, rather than pushing them away or trying to gain control of your thoughts. Just let your mind be like the ocean, the tide coming in and pulling away. Take one last deep breath in. Big exhale through the mouth. On your next inhale, reach your arms up and overhead, flip the palms, and stretch long through the arms, let the spine arch, and windshield wiper the knees from side to side. Draw your knees into your chest, wrap your arms around them, give yourself a hug, and rock side to side. Let your arms fall to a cactus or T shape. Drop your knees to the right for a gentle supine twist. Inhale, rise up through center, switch sides, letting your knees fall to the left on your exhale. Inhale, come back up through center. Even out your hips, feet underneath your knees. Find your block and bring it on the medium setting underneath your sacrum. Remembering this block shouldn't be in the arch of your low back, and it shouldn't be on your glutes. It should be right on that triangle-shaped bone. You can let your knees fall wide. I prefer my arms up and overhead here, but they're welcome to be long by your side. Make sure your neck remains neutral. Try not to pull your chin to your chest. Keep that C shape in the neck. You're welcome to stay where you are if you'd like to switch up this posture. Draw your knees in towards your chest. You can leave them there or start to straighten your legs towards the sky for a supported shoulder stand. For these final few breaths in this pose, if you haven't yet, bring your legs wide into a V shape, getting a nice stretch through the inner thighs. Begin to lower the legs. Press down through the feet, lift your hips, and remove the block. Draw the knees gently into your chest, giving yourself a hug. Rock side to side. Then guide your hands behind the knees and take a few rocks up and down the entire length of your spine. Come into a comfortable seated position. Bring your arms down by your sides, palms face up. Take a big inhale, reach your arms overhead, palms together. Exhale as you pull your hands down through heart center. Again, arms wide. Inhale, reach up. Try and sync your movement to your breath. Exhale, hands pulled down through heart center. Last one. Breathe in to reach up. Exhale, pull it down through center. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, bring your left hand by your left hip, arc up and over towards the left. Take a few breaths here, breathing deep into the right side of your ribs. Option here to cradle your head with that top hand so that you can relax the neck and use the weight of your head to get a deeper stretch through that right side. Inhale, reach back up, lengthen the waist. Exhale, other side, up and over to the left. Same thing, you can keep that top arm long or use it to cradle the head, resting the weight of your head into the hand to deepen the stretch through the left ribs. Inhale, come back to center, reach both arms up. Exhale, palms through prayer. Roll over your knees and find a kneeling position with your toes tucked. Reach down, make sure your pinky toes are tucked under as well. If this is too much for you, you can bring your hands down to the mat and lift your hips off your heels as much as you need to decompress the toes. We're going to take about 10 deep breaths here. While you're here, you can use this time to loosen up the neck, rolling the head side to side, pausing at any sticky, tight spots. You can roll your shoulders forward and your shoulders back. Take an arm stretch, anything that feels good for the upper body, or you're welcome to remain in stillness. Take one more breath here. And then exhale, bring your hands down, release the toes, tap them out. Coming into hero's pose, sit your hips in between your heels, either onto your mat or onto a block, or maybe 2 blocks, or maybe a stack of pillows. Remembering that the tops of your feet should feel a stretch. Toes slightly pointing outwards or straight back. You should feel mild stretch through the quads, maybe a touch of sensation through the knees. If you're feeling sensation here, then I'd like you to stay here. Otherwise, you're welcome to lower down into your forearms. You can take a block onto the highest setting and use it as a prop to keep the neck supported. Or you can come all the way down onto your back if that feels okay in your low back and in the knees. Take one more breath here. And then on your next breath in, slowly and mindfully begin to come out of this shape any way that works for you. eventually coming into tabletop and taking a few mindful rounds of cat and cow to release through the knees, hips, and spine. Bring your big toes to touch and knees as wide as your mat for child's pose. I'm bringing my pillow underneath my chest and stacking my hands to support my upper body. You can extend your arms forward. You can bring a prop underneath your forehead. You can even bring a prop between your feet to help support your hips. We're going to be here for a couple minutes. So here at the beginning, I'd like you to really consider any of the tension you may be holding in the upper back, in the neck and shoulders, and even at the back of the skull. Let that upper body be free of all tension, of all strain, and let yourself completely surrender to any props you have beneath you. Take one last deep breath here. On your next inhale, slowly begin to rise up. Set your props to the side. Bring your knees together. Inhale, reach your arms up and overhead. Interlace the fingers, flip the palms. Take a big stretch upwards and a little baby back bend. Release your hands down. Find tabletop and then downward facing dog. Deeply bend your right knee, sending your stretch to that left leg. Switch, bending your left knee, sending the stretch to the right leg. Continue doing this, alternating legs, couple rounds, focusing on firmly pressing through the palms, thinking about getting length through the spine more than anything, thinking about deepening those hip creases, lifting your tailbone as high to the sky as you can. On your next breath out, slowly drop the knees down, come back into a kneeling position. Grab your toes with your fingers, hug your shoulder blades back, and slingshot your heart forward and up, almost like a seated camel pose. Lift your chin, feel the stretch in the throat. Come back to neutral, palms down, and come onto your belly. Coming into Sphinx shape to start. Straighten your left arm so you can thread your right arm underneath. You can stop here, resting the head down in half shoelace pose. Or you can continue taking that left arm now all the way to the right, coming into full shoelace and resting your chin down onto your arms. Do your best to keep your palms down on the mat rather than flipping upwards. And if you feel any tension in the low back, just bring your feet wide. They can be as wide as your mat. Take one more breath here. Slowly begin to untie your arms and come back to Sphinx pose. Push down through your elbows, lengthen your neck, and lift your chin straight up without dropping your head straight back. Turn your chin towards the right so that you feel that stretch more intensely through the left side of your throat. Return your chin to neutral and then over to the left so you feel it through the front side of the throat. Come back to neutral and let's head to shoelace on the other side. Threading your left arm parallel with the front of your mat, pausing there or taking full shoelace pose, reaching your right arm all the way to the left. One final breath here. Slowly rise back up to Sphinx pose. Firmly press down through your elbows, shoulders away from the ears. Pull your chin up towards the sky without dropping your head back. Stack your hands elbows wide. Rest your forehead onto your hands. Take 3 slow, deep breaths here. Slowly begin to rise up, pressing up through tabletop, and then setting your blocks up for supported fish pose. You can use your block or a pillow for underneath the head, and then a second block on either the medium or low setting for underneath your shoulder blades. It's really important to remember in this pose that your hips should be on the ground. And if you feel too much pressure in the back and you're struggling to get your hips down, bring that block a little bit higher as I'm doing myself here. Remember, you want your ears in line with your shoulders, allowing that C shape to be in the neck. And bring your arms to a wide cactus or T shape to help open the chest. This is going to be our longest hold of this practice at 5 minutes. You're welcome to keep your knees bent or lengthen them out long. Take one last deep breath in. Breathe out through your mouth. Inhale, stretch your arms up and overhead. Take a big stretch here. Please take your time and move very slowly coming out of this position. Start by stepping your feet in, bringing your chin towards your chest, and rising up onto both forearms and pressing up. Pause for a few breaths in a seated position, sitting up nice and tall. If you're not already, arrive in a crisscross position with your right leg in front, opting for a wide Sukhasana or fire log pose, which I'm demonstrating here. I'm much more comfortable in Sukhasana, so that's where I'm headed. Bring your fingertips in front of you, sit up super tall from your tailbone to the shoulders, and then start to crawl yourself forward. You can bring your pillow between your hips and your chest as I'm doing, and you can create a little tower with your blocks to rest your head down if needed. Try not to just hold your head in space, as that will cause a lot of strain on those upper back and upper neck muscles. Bring your forehead down on something, whether it's your stacked fists or a block. Take one more deep breath here. Slowly rise up, one vertebrae at a time, and switch legs, bringing your left leg in front, opting for either fire log pose or Sukhasana. Fingertips forward, inhale, lengthen the whole spine. Exhale, slowly forward fold. Take one more breath here. And then slowly rise up. Take your time. Set all your props off to one side. Bring your hands down behind you, untie your legs, and take big windshield wipers from side to side. Find a kneeling position, knees together, big toes touching, sitting onto your heels or on a block. One hand to your belly, one hand to your heart. Sit up tall. Take this final moment to tap into your breath and to the rhythm of your heartbeat. Thank yourself for making it onto your mat and participating in this restorative practice that helps to rejuvenate and honor your physical body. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out. Guide your palms to prayer, thumbs to third eye. Namaste.